Dear students, today we are going to discuss about HTML5. So before entering into HTML5, we can see the history of HTML. HTML was first published in the year 1991. In 1995, HTML 2.0 was introduced. In 1997, HTML 3.2 next version was arrived. In 1999, HTML 4.01 was released and it focused shift to XHTML and standards. In 2000, XHTML 1.0 version released. From 2002 to 2009, that was the period of XHTML 2.0. And this XHTML had a stricter standards than 1.0. It rejected web pages that did not comply, and it was out of favor and completely abandoned in 2009. HTML5, the latest version of HTML, was released in the year 2012. And it has been in development since 2004. Now we see what is HTML5. HTML5 is the newest version of HTML. It supports all features from earlier versions of HTML, including strict XHTML. In addition to that, it adds a new set of tools for web development. Still, this HTML5 is a work in progress item. No browsers have full support for HTML5. Goals of HTML5: supports all existing web pages. It reduces the usage of external plugins and scripts to website content and validation. It improves the meaning and purpose of pages. That is, it improves the semantic definition of page elements. It makes the rendering of web content universal and independent of device being used. That is, whatever may be the device, same view will be provided for the web page. It can handle web document errors in a better and consistent fashion. New elements in HTML5. These are the new elements which are introduced in HTML5. Article, SI, audio, canvas, data list, figure, pic caption, footer, header, hgroup, mark, nav, progress, session, source, SVG, time, video. In this video, we will explore most of the elements in HTML5. Other new features that are available in HTML5. It has built-in audio and video support so that developers can include video and audio in web pages without using any external plugins. Enhanced form controls and attributes. Canvas facility for drawing. Drag and drop functionality. And this HTML5 supports CSS3. It also provides data storage and offline application features. First, look at HTML5. So, we have to remember the doc type declaration that we studied in HTML 4.0. That was a lengthy line. Doc type HTML public / w3c / btd xhtml etc. But in HTML5 we can simply use this doc type HTML, that is just 15 characters are needed for specifying the document type. This doc type tells the browser about the type and version of document to expect. The HTML element. In XHTML, that is the previous version of HTML5, the tag is like this: HTML, XMLNS, HTTP something, etc. In HTML5, it simplifies as HTML lang is equal to en. The lang attribute declares which language the page content is in. It can assist search engines and screen readers. En stands for English. For French language, it will be used as FR. For German, it is DE. Likewise. The another important tag that is needed in HTML document is head tag. In XHTML, a huge structure is needed to specify the head. But in HTML5, we need minimal data to be specified for head. We are having a meta tag which is used to specify the type of character set used. Then title tag, it can be also enclosed in the head tag, and it is used to mention the title of the page. Link element is there, which is used to add CSS style sheet for the web page. So in the previous versions of HTML like HTML 4.0, XHTML, we need a lengthy code to specify the doc type HTML element head session, but in HTML5, the length of the corresponding tags can be reduced. Now we can see a basic HTML5 web page. Here we can see a simple web page which is specified in English language. A head tag is here, which contains meta characters, which uses the meta characters at UTF-8. Title is there, my first HTML5 page. A style sheet is attached. The name of the style sheet is style.css. Then body part contains a paragraph. HTML5 is 1, body is closed, and HTML tag is closed. This is a simple view of the corresponding document. And even though we are using HTML4 as well as HTML5, the look is almost same. Now we see what are the new features that is included in HTML5. In HTML5, the web page is split up like this. A header section is there, a footer section is there. We can set a navigation on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we can place a side. Then inside the center part, we can include sessions, session headers, articles, a footer for each session, likewise. Now we will explore some of the important tags in HTML5. The first tag is video tag, HTML5 video. HTML5 specifies a standard way to include video with the video element. Currently, there are 3 supported video formats for the video element. So using HTML5, video can be included in a web page using HTML tags, and it supports these 3 video formats: OGG, MPEG-4, WebDAV. The table presented here shows which all browsers supports the different file formats. For Internet Explorer, it didn't support any of the video format. In Firefox, it supports the OGG file. In Opera, it supports OGG as well as WebM. In Chrome, it supports these 3 types of files. In Safari, only MP4 will be supported. Now we can see how we can include a video in a web page. And this is the concept snippet for adding video in a web page. Video can be added using video tag. SRC is the attribute which specifies the name or address of the video file. It can be a relative address or it can be an absolute path. The video display area's width and height can be specified using width and height attribute controls. Controls is another attribute which is used for playing the video, pausing the video, then closing the video. So if we need controls for that, we have to paste the attribute controls is equal to controls. So this is a simple web page which contains a video. The name of the video file present in the corresponding web page is movie.ogg. It's an OGG file. If that video tag is not working, the text with the corresponding video tag will be displayed. Alternative text is your browser does not support the video element. That will be displayed. We already mentioned about which all browsers support the OGG file. Chrome supports all type of files. So in addition to a single video, we can include multiple source elements in the web page. Multiple video elements can be included in the same web page. This can be done through a tag called source tag. Source tag is a new element which is introduced in HTML5. We can include multiple video files in the same page by using the source tag. And you should just look at the example. Video width is equal to 320, height is equal to 240, controls is equal to controls. So a video tag is open, the display area of the video is 320 pixels, the height of the video display is 240 pixels, and controls is equal to controls means all the controls are needed for the corresponding video. Then source src is equal to movie.ogg, type is equal to video.ogg, which indicates that this is a source file for the video tag. Then after that another source is added, movie.mp4. Then third one is movie.webm. So different types of video files are included in the same web page, and if our browser did not support this type of files, what the browser should do is the alternative text. Your browser does not support the video tag, that will be displayed. If the browser supports the video, then that video will be displayed. Otherwise, this text will be appeared on the screen. These are the possible attributes that can come with video tag. Attribute audio. The value taken by audio attribute is muted. It defines the default state of the audio. Currently, only muted is allowed. Autoplay. It takes the value autoplay. If present, then the video will start playing as soon as it is ready. Third attribute is controls. Controls is equal to controls. If present, controls will be displayed. Height. Height of the video player. Loop. The video will start over again every time it is finished. Poster. Poster contains a URL value which specifies the URL of the image which is representing the video. Then another attribute is preload, which takes the value preload. If present, the video will be loaded at page load and ready to run. Then source src is the which contains a relative or absolute part of the video to be played. Width means the width of the video player. So these are the possible attributes that can occur with video tag. Now we can see HTML5 audio. HTML5 specifies a standard way to include audio with audio element. The audio element can play sound files or an audio stream. Currently, there are three supported formats for the audio file: OGG, MP3 and WAV file. Internet Explorer didn't support any of these three formats. Firefox supports OGG and WAV file. Opera supports OGG and WAV file. Chrome supports OGG and MP3. Safari supports MP3 and WAV. Now we can see how we can include audio to the web page. By using the audio tag, like video tag, this audio tag also takes src. which specifies the URL of the corresponding audio file. Then controls is equal to controls. Like audio, the control is used for showing the control buttons like play button, pause button. If the audio tag is not worked on the corresponding browser, the alternate text your browser does not support the audio element will be displayed. Like video, multiple audio elements can be included in the same web page. Source elements can link to different audio files, and this is an example showing how we can include multiple audio files in the same web page. We have to specify the audio tag. Controls is equal to controls. Then using the source tag, include the corresponding MP3 file. Source src is equal to one audio file. Then type is equal to audio bar OGG. Type is an attribute of the source tag which indicates what type of file it is. If our browser does not support this source files, what happens is the alternate text will be displayed. Here the alternate text is your browser does not support the audio element, that will be displayed. If our browser is able to display the audio, or it will be able to execute audio, then it will be executed. Now we can see the possible attributes that can come along with audio tag. Autoplay is there. Autoplay takes a value autoplay. It specifies that audio will start playing as soon as it is ready. Controls is equal to controls, which specifies that controls will be displayed, such as play button. Loop is equal to loop, which specifies that audio will start playing again when it reaches the end. Preload is equal to preload, specifies that audio will be loaded at page load and ready to run. Then source is src is equal to URL of the corresponding audio file. Almost all of the attributes of audio and video are same. Now we can see another element in HTML5, canvas. Canvas element uses JavaScript to draw graphics on a web page. So a canvas is a rectangular area and you can control every pixel of the corresponding canvas area. It has some methods for drawing parts, boxes, circles, characters and adding images. Then for adding canvas to our web page, we have to specify the canvas tag. Then we have to mention the ID, what should be the identity or name of the corresponding canvas. Then width should be specified, height should be specified. For mentioning the width and height of the corresponding drawing area. Actually, our canvas element has no drawing capabilities of its own, but we can draw images, shapes, circles, all these things on the drawing area by using JavaScript. So this is an example which specifies the drawing of a rectangle on the canvas. Script type is equal to text part JavaScript. Then a variable C is declared. Then variable CXT. Then CXT.fillStyle. So that means red color should be filled. Then CXT.fillRect. So a rectangle will be displayed with red color in the corresponding canvas area. Now we can see the different input types which will be available in HTML5. While we are discussing the features of HTML5, I already told you that it has enhanced form features and attributes. So these are the enhanced features. HTML5 has several new input types for forms. Email, URL, number, range, date pickers, date, month, week, time, daytime local, search, color. All these input elements are discussed in our previous video which was related to forms. You can refer that particular video for further details regarding these features. Now we can see the enhanced attribute form attributes. Autocomplete is there, autofocus, form overrides, height and width, list, minimum, maximum, step, multiple, non-validate, pattern, placeholder, required. These are some of the additional attributes that should be available in HTML5 for form tag. Now we see the structure tags of HTML5 web page. While we are discussing the structure of the HTML5 web page, we specified a tag called header. Header element represents a container for introductory content or a set of navigational links. So header element always holds a heading element, heading element which includes any of the H1 header tags like H1, H2, like F2, H6. Or it should include a logo or icon, or it can include any of the authorship information. We can have several header elements in one HTML document. But header cannot be placed within a footer, address or another header element. That is important. Then nav. Nav is actually navigation. The navigation tag defines a set of navigation links. Not all links of a document should be inside the navigation element, but all the major block of navigation elements can be placed inside the navigation element. Navigation is an example. Navigation element which contains 4 links or 4 anchors are there: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python. We are having a large number of anchors in our web page that can be included in the navigation tag. Section. We can divide the body of the corresponding web page into different sections by using the session tag. The session element defines a section in a document. A session is a thematic grouping of content, typically with a heading. Then article tag is there. Article tag specifies independent, self-contained content, and potential sources for the article element include forum post, blog post, news story. All these things can be included in the article tag. Now footer. Footer tag defines a footer for a document or section. A footer element typically contains authorship information, copyright information, contact information, sitemap, back to top links, related documents, and we also have several footer elements in one document. We can include footer elements for each and every section of the corresponding web page. Now aside. The aside tag defines some content aside from the content it is placed in. That is, aside tag is holding data which is not important to the data in the corresponding web page. This is somewhat an unimportant data or an unimportant matter. The aside content should be indirectly related to the surrounding content. The aside content is often placed as a sidebar in a document. The aside element does not render us anything special in a browser. However, you can use CSS to style the aside element. So, aside tag always holds some data which is somewhat indirectly related to the content of the corresponding web page, and we can place this content towards a particular corner of a web page or towards the right hand side of the web page. But all these things should be done in CSS. Now we are having an example which is related to aside tag. Now we can look at the corresponding HTML page. Inside the head, a style tag is defined which is used to include CSS code. Then after that, style is closed, body contain h1 tag. The aside element style with CSS, that is a header. Then a paragraph is there. My family and I visited Epcot Center this summer. The weather was nice and Epcot was amazing. I had a great summer together with my family. So in the page it is discussed about my family and its visit towards Epcot Center. And what is the aside thing here in the web pages? After the paragraph, an aside tag is opened which contains a paragraph. That paragraph mentions data about Epcot Center, what Epcot Center is. So the output of this corresponding web page is like this. So the aside element styled with CSS. This is the actual content of the web page, but it is mentioned a word in the content of the web page. It is mentioned Epcot Center. So a session is started or a small session is there which mentions what Epcot Center is. This thing can be done using CSS. The width is there, aside width is there, padding left, 15 margin left, 15 pixels, plot right, font style, background color. All these things are in the style sheet. Only the data is included in the aside tag. The rest will be the style sheet format. So this is all about aside tag. Hope you enjoyed today's session. So we discussed all the main components which is related to HTML5. You can explore all this. Wishing you all success. Happy learning. Thank you.